Hi, so sometimes I get tired of hearing myself and others say that they've destroyed or wasted or wrecked their lives. In doing so, I think that people spend all their time focusing on where they should be right now, instead of where they actually are. For example, I can sit around, thinking of all my old school results and of the people that used to predict like high GCSE results and how well I do in my A-levels and how easily I could make friends for the rest of my life. I can dream of where I'm meant to be right now in college, studying or doing well or being in a relationship with someone and having friends and social life. But honestly, where does that get us? I think it's a massive flaw people have when trying to recover, is basically just like holding on to the way things should or could have been. And they aren't, and it's up to you to try to make the best out of the situation that you're in now. There probably was a time that you believed that you had everything, probably a time when you were little or you were at school or, you believed that there was a time when everything was the way that it should have been and you wish you could go back to that time and do it right and stop things bad from happening. But the problem is they did happen, and no one can time travel, no one will time travel, and it's because of those bad things that you're the person that you are today. And that doesn't mean you're a bad person, it doesn't mean that you could have been better or different, because you couldn't have known that. Something back then made you use a coping mechanism or more that hurt you, not destroyed you, hurt you. It took things away from you that you put the most value in, the things you define as your life. I think it's time for a lot of us to redefine our lives. Our lives are not our friends, not our qualifications, not our schools or families or jobs. Our lives are us. As long as we have ourselves, then we have our lives. And as long as you're alive, then you have a life. Okay, so I've been thinking about my videos and the fact that I call them self-help, and I realised that I actually rarely give advice. I spread awareness, I say what we do wrong, and I sometimes offer distraction techniques, etc. But today I want to sort of actually really give you advice that I want to take as well. Firstly, you have to focus on what you have right now. Sometimes with an illness, you can't focus on all the good things around you because you're in too much pain to see it. But think of the good people in your life. Think of the things that you love. Think of the beauty around you. If you can hear the birds, some people can't. If you can see the light, some people can't. If you can feel things, if you can taste, if you can smell, if you can remember and predict things. We take so much for granted. I recently watched a film of a woman hear for the first time after 40 years of being deaf. And she was talking about light switches and like how beautiful the sound of that clicking and seeing the light came on was, that she couldn't stop doing it. So I took a moment and I stood up and I kept repeatedly turning off and on the light switch. And you know what? It is a beautiful sound. Through all the pain and illness and not thinking straight, for that moment I heard it from her point of view. Secondly, stop dreaming and fantasizing and wishing for the way it should or could have been. It's not, and it's up to you to try and live with what you have and make the best from it. This is, depending on your beliefs, your one and only life, and in my opinion, your only chance to be happy and make others happy. You can do that, it's in your hands. Sometimes it's so easy to blame things on an illness, but you need to remember that no matter how strong the urges are, ultimately it is your choice. If your illness tells you to do something, you need to turn around and do the total opposite. Finally, remember that it doesn't mean your life is over if you're not ready to do these things. If you don't feel like it's your time to recover, if you don't feel like it's your time to get help, if you feel like it's not your time to let go, it doesn't mean that you never will. The sooner the better. Procrastination is another one of the big downfalls in trying to recover, in my opinion. Chances are if you put it off, you might put it off forever. There will be a day when you have to say, today is the day. Today I'm going to do this, because it really is true what they say when they say that today is the first day of the rest of your life. But if you don't, or if you didn't do well today, then that's okay. But as long as you are alive, you always have a chance to make the pain stop. Remember that death is not the end of the pain, recovery is. Because if you die still ill, then ultimately you lived the rest of your life in pain because you aren't around to feel the pain go. Just stay alive, keep going, and you will get better. Whatever you do, no matter how low you go, do not lose hope. So I really hope that you can maybe take some advice from this video. You mean the world to me, and I keep hearing you say that you've wasted your life. And you haven't, your lives aren't over, so you haven't wasted your lives. Just because you haven't gone the exact route that you originally planned on going, doesn't mean that your life is over. It just means you've taken a different route. It just means that you've struggled through it where other people haven't. Other people have had other struggles. We can do this. You can do this. Anyway, if you did like this video, please subscribe, please comment below. I always appreciate it, and I always read every single comment, even if I don't reply. My Twitter and Tumblr is in the description below. If you think I need one, give me a thumbs up. Please stay strong, just keep going and don't lose hope.